So, have you ever felt like you're just stuck, waiting for some big lightning bolt of motivation to strike? Well, today we're diving deep into Steve Chandler's 100 Ways to Motivate Yourself to find the tools you need to light that fire yourself. We're going to get practical, we're going to get real, and hopefully we're going to get you moving. Let's do this.
Okay, let's just start with a really simple but kind of heavy fact. You are here on this planet for a very, very finite amount of time. At most, 100 years. That's it. It's a powerful thought to just let that sink in for a second before we even begin.
And that right there, it leads to the biggest question of all, doesn't it? A question for you. What are you going to do with that time? Do you want to just drift through, or do you want to really live? This isn't just about getting stuff done, right? It's about what you're actually doing with your life.
All right, here's our game plan. We're going to start with that big question. Then we'll dive into mastering our inner world, turning our thoughts into actual action, and living a fuller life. And then, the most important part, figuring out your very next motivated step. First things first, mastering your inner world. Because look, any real, lasting motivation, it doesn't start with your calendar or your to-do list. It starts right up here, in your head.
Okay, check out this story. It's fantastic. Picture it, it's 1976. A young Arnold Schwarzenegger has a movie that just bombed. To most people, he's just this bodybuilder with a funny accent. A future movie star? Yeah, right. But what was going on in Arnold's head was a completely different story. And this is where it gets so good. When someone asked him what was next, he didn't hesitate. He said, I'm going to become the biggest box office star in Hollywood. Just total certainty. He didn't wait for permission or for a lucky break. He created this incredibly clear picture in his mind and then just started living like he was already that guy. That's how you stay hungry.
This slide, this is basically every workplace, right? Chandler tells this story about a company president who had two kinds of managers. The complainers, they just sucked the life out of him, always pointing out what was wrong. But the thinkers, they'd see the same problems, but they'd come in asking, all right, what can we do about this? Shifting from just reacting to problem solving, that's a game changer. The takeaway is simple. Choose to run with the thinkers.
All right, so we've got the mindset down. But a great mindset without action is, well, it's just daydreaming. So now let's talk about building some real-world momentum. You know that feeling when a task is just so big you just freeze? Well, Henry Ford nailed it when he said that no task is that hard if you just break it down into small steps. That's what this lazy dynamite is all about. It's not about finding some huge explosion of energy. No, it's about starting small, like ridiculously small and slow. That tiny, quiet start, that's everything. It's how you get the ball rolling. Okay, be honest with me for a second. Is there something weighing on your mind right now? Because worry, man, it has this incredible power to just paralyze us completely. The cure for that paralysis, it's action. Chandler tells this great story about waking up feeling awful after a fight with his wife. Instead of just laying there, stewing in it, he grabbed a notepad and started writing down what he could do to make it better. The second you switch from feeling bad to asking, what can I do? Worry it loses its grip. Action is worry's worst enemy. This slide hits hard, doesn't it? I mean, how much of our time do we spend just watching other people live their lives? The book says, kill your screens, which doesn't mean throw your TV out the window. It means kill that impulse to just be a passive spectator. The joy you get from actually doing something, even something small like cooking a meal, is so much more real than watching someone else do it. Go live your story. Don't just binge watch someone else's. Okay, so we've got mindset, we've got action, but how do you keep this up for the long haul? This next part is about the deep stuff, the concepts that help you build a life that's actually truly fulfilling.
You gotta hear this story. It's about a guy named Peg Leg Bates, who was this incredible tap dancer. But here's the thing. As a kid, he lost his leg in an accident. You'd think that's it, right? Dream over.
But here's where it gets amazing. Instead of trying to hide his weakness, he leaned into it. He literally attached a tap to his wooden leg and created a style of dancing that was completely and uniquely his.
And that's the whole point. The thing he thought was his biggest limitation, it became his greatest strength. It's what made him stand out. So think about your own flaws. What if that's where your real power is hiding?
This one's a big one. We're always chasing pleasure, right? A good slice of pizza, a funny show, and it's great, but it's temporary. enjoyment, that's different. That's the feeling you get after you've struggled and grown. It's that feeling of flow. Think about it. A lottery winner gets pleasure, but they often end up miserable. The person who builds a business from scratch, they find deep enjoyment in that struggle. Chase enjoyment. That's where the real good stuff is.
Here's a really simple, kind of beautiful idea. If you want good fortune in your life, go out and create it for someone else. It's not even about getting a thank you or getting credit. It's about the act itself. When you become the source of good luck for other people, it has a funny way of finding its way back to you. 4 little words, but man, they are powerful. Think about JFK saying, "We're going to put a man on the moon." It was this huge, public promise that nobody could back down from. On a smaller scale, Chandler promised his kids he'd take them to a camp, then fell on hard times. But because he'd promised, he moved heaven and earth to make it happen. A real promise is like rocket fuel for your motivation. And for our last tip, this one might sound a little silly, but stick with me. Laugh. For no reason at all. See, your body can actually trick your brain into feeling better. You don't need a joke. Zen monks do this as a form of meditation. It feels weird at first, but just try it. A forced smile can become a real one. It's a tool you can use anytime to just instantly change your energy. Okay, so we've gone through a ton of stuff. Mindset, action, how to live a fuller life. We've covered some amazing ideas. But all this talk means nothing if we don't do something with it. And that brings us to the final and most important question of all. So here it is, not what you're going to do tomorrow or next week, right now, out of everything we just talked about, lighting that lazy dynamite, replacing worry with action, making a promise, just laughing for no reason, which single idea are you going to put into practice in the next 5 minutes? That's the only one that matters right now. Go do it.